Yes.
No one heard that. Oh my god. And there's two here. Did anyone comment anything?
They can hear you.
Margie Donaldson and also Lou Paul. Every Thursday, the last Thursday of each month from now until December, they will have their local office at the senior center, which is on Springwood. And if you haven't heard, there is a new application for senior freeze, anchor, and stay in New Jersey. It's one application. And you have until October 31st to complete it. Now, if you have not received one, if you would like to pick one up, you may go to the mobile office, which is the 27th, the last Thursday of this month, between the hours of 9:30 and 1 o'clock, and pick up the application. They will also assist you in completing the application. And I also have gotten permission from our mayor and council members that we will be offering, as we did last year, workshops, and they will be here at the councilman's chambers, and we'll be offering workshops to help you with that application. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jackson.
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Clayton. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn. Thank you. Mayor Moore.
Just another thank you to Jody and Casey Clark. Thank you.
Thank you. Good matters from our city attorney.
The only matter I have on tonight is the next item of public hearing on the sewer connection. At this point in the agenda, we're going to have a public hearing, which is required by state statute and the city code regarding proposed increases to the sewer connection fees. Those are charged by the city for each new connection to the property to the sewage system. Sitting with me tonight is the city's auditor, Mr. Gannon. Mr. Gannon, I'm asking you some brief testimony before we then open this meeting to the public for a public hearing. Please raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Gannon, please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
David Gannon, G-A-N-N-O-N.
Mr. Gannon, what is your professional title?
I'm a certified accountant.
And do you hold any licenses or certifications from the state of New Jersey?
Yes, I'm licensed as a certified accountant by New Jersey.
Okay, who is your employer?
I'm a partner in the firm CPF Connor Davis.
And have you been reviewed by the city to perform auditing services?
Yes.
Okay, and as part of your responsibilities for the city, does your firm perform a recomputing of the connection fees we charge to new users of the city sewage system when requested by the city?
Yes, we do.
And has your firm performed such a recomputation recently?
Yes, we have.
All right, before we get into the actual computation your firm has done, can you kindly explain for the benefit of the public what the purpose of a sewerage connection fee is?
So over the years in the history of the city's sewer system, capital expenditures have been made to build and maintain the sewer system, the cost of which has been borne by prior residents and ratepayers in the city. The purpose of the connection fee is to put the new user of the sewer system on an equal footing or even playing field with prior users as far as the historical costs.
All right, now, asking for a moment about the connection fee amounts. Are there different connection fee amounts depending on the type of property that is involved?
Yes, the law requires that connection charges are uniform within each class of users, and the amount thereof shall not exceed the actual cost of the physical connection plus the amount representing a fair payment toward the cost of the system.
Okay, and in the city of Asbury Park, how many different classes of properties are there?
There are 3 different property classes. Class 1 constitutes the residential property. Class 2 represents the hotel and motel property. And Class 3 constitutes non-residential.
Okay, and what was the amount of the prior sewer connection fees charged by the city for these classes?
Class 1 residential was $7,163 per unit. Class 2 hotel and motel was previously $3,581.50 per guest room. In Class 3, non-residential general was previously $35 per gallon per day, and $7,163 for a minimum connection fee per unit.
Okay, and you said you did a recomputation, or you're going to do a recomputation recently. Can you describe that for the public?
Sure, updates were made to include capital costs that were incurred during the most recent measurement period, as well as reviewing utility records and water use records to compute the number of service units, and that results in the computation of new connection.
Okay, and based on that recomputation, explain to the public what the proposed new connection fee rates are that your firm is recommending for each class of users in the city.
We're recommending the new sewer connection fee for class 1 residential go from $7,163 to $7,171. We're recommending the class 2 hotel motel fee be increased from $3,581.50 per guest room to $3,585.50 per guest room. And finally, we're recommending sewer connection fee for class 3 with members of the general from $35 to $35.24 per gallon, or a minimum connection fee of $7,163 to $7,171.
And Mr. Gannon, do you believe that these proposed new connection fee amounts you just described are uniform within each class of users?
Yes.
And do you believe that the proposed sewer connection fee increases otherwise comply with all statutory requirements?
Yes.
And final question, as the city's auditor, is it your recommendation that the city adopt these new connection fee amounts and apply them to all new customers who connect to the city sewer system?
Yes.
Mayor and Council, those are the only questions I have for Mr. Gannon. The person is doing further questions.
No, so we can open it to the public.
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to open it to the public.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing for proposed sewer connection fee increases is now open to the public. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Your comments may only be about proposed sewer connection fee increases.
Seeing none, motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
You're gonna thank you?
We're now on to public participation. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Move to open.
All in favor? The public participation portion of the meeting is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there'll be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I do have a handout for the council, if I can pass that out. Council members and attendees, my name is Edward Quigley. I go by Ed. In 2015, I had the shaft of a wind-blown beach umbrella penetrate my left eye and reach the brain cavity. I was airlifted to a hospital. I died on the operating table, but they brought me back. So I feel like I have a mission in life to inform people of the dangers of wind-blown beach umbrellas. And also, I participated in the development of a safety standard with ASTM, the American Society for Testing and Materials. And it has been adopted by the Consumer Product Safety Commission and is specifically directly referenced in their new guidance. I provided the council with more detail in the form of a write-up, but in the past, the Consumer Product Safety Commission had something that looked like this, and it told you to stick the shaft of the umbrella into the sand, rock it back and forth, and tilt it into the wind. We had a team of engineers from the Consumer Product Safety Commission do 2 years of testing on beaches and in wind tunnels, and their determination was that no umbrella is safe without an adequate anchor device. The screw-type devices are not effective. We're talking about something that provides 75 pounds of resistance for a standard beach umbrella, 7.5-foot diameter on the canopy. The new guidance from the Consumer Product Safety Commission looks like this. and it does directly reference the safety standard. What I am, I had one more piece that I might have given to the council, excuse me. What I'm asking is that the council consider putting signs at the entrance to the beaches that make the public aware of this danger. And there is in the handout that you've been provided an example of such a sign that looks something like this. It uses the warning label that is prescribed by the safety standard for newly manufactured umbrellas. And the warning label is a little bit graphic, just like the lawnmower's warning label that shows cut fingers. This shows a little bit of blood because people have died, and every year there are thousands of injuries. So I, bring it to the council for your knowledge and for whatever activity that you can do to make the public aware of the danger. Signs are a good start, and maybe there are other methods as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll be putting up the signs.
Thank you. You have my contact information. You need anything?
Thank you.
Sir?
Yes. Oh, extra. It do cost money. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
One there here in the dog gate, that was amazing. I never realized it was that dangerous. Anyway, my name's Jacob Cohen. Wanted to talk for a moment about the Holy Spirit Church that we're trying to convert on Second Avenue. I don't like I love the church. I grew up in Asbury. We used to see the people there Sunday morning. But, in the 60s, one family had a big sedan. Not everybody had cars. Now everybody has a car in that area. There's so many properties that don't have driveways and have multiple dwellings. And there's no place to park there now. What they're trying to put in that church, I don't know how it got this far. To me, I would have said, save the building, turn it into like artist lofts, big art, some renowned artists, and give them a studio where they can live. They got 10,000 square feet of office space. They're saying they're only going to use it during the week. Nobody can assure it's going to be used during the week. In a cafe, you don't know what the hours are going to be and how it's going to impact. I really think, and then the Galleria, it's in a residential area. This belongs on Main Street. I love the church. It should be saved, but not with what you want. If it comes down to it, you're saving the church for quality of life issues for the people who already reside there. And there's got to be another way. Either that, if you can't do it so you don't sacrifice the church for the profits of the developer and for people that love the building. I love the building too, but at what cost? If you approve this, I feel bad for all the people that live in this area. And I also would feel bad for all of you because I think you're going to have real serious regrets down the road when people ask you, how did this get approved? How did you do this? Because there's no place to park now. And they did that traffic assessment, that study, I think it was in November. I mean, how do you do a traffic study in this area the week where people are traveling, going to Thanksgiving, and it's off-season? It's so deficient. You really need to look at this. You should have your own people hire this. And if you want, just knock the church down and build a few houses. But I like the idea of turning the church into beautiful art apartments for guys who create art, whether sculptors or artists or jewelers or glass blowers. Make it something artistic, but make it a residence. So you're not trying to put so much, 10,000 square feet of office space. I called the engineer. They said, well, we only figured a couple of spaces because most offices are only open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I said, how are you going to know that somebody with a phone company or somebody who's open 24 hours a day? I think you're selling the people of Asbury down the river in this area where you've done such great things and you're such a great group. And I bless you all, and I want to wish you all, everyone here, a really blessed healthy, happy Easter and or Passover. Peace be with you all. Thank you very much.
Good evening. This is in reference, my name is Bob Stevens, 704 Second Avenue. This is in reference to what Mr. Cohen has previously brought up to the council's attention. And I just want to bring my personal comments as well. I won't add to what Mr. Cohen has already stated. As far as the structure that would be approved to be placed there. First, with the church building itself, I'm a preservationist, but if it wasn't placed on an historic registry, I mean, it's a building. The people that go there, that's the church. The church, the word church doesn't mean the building, it means the people. That's biblical term. And right now, there are no services there. So it's a building. How can it be best used? Certainly not a cafe, as Mr. Cohen stated. We live right there. We've already got problems with that corner dance club, and how that got approved, I have no idea. It used to be a bar. Now it's a dance club till 2:30 in the morning, called Coronita. And they have a restaurant there, which used to be called Pasolipos. That does operate on weekends, but we've already got that traffic flow. Already the residents that live there, as Mr. Cohen stated, that there are many flat driveways. If you go out there any day, there are people coming back home right now that can't park. You've got alternate side parking. So that takes up 2 days a week. I mean, this just, it adds up, and that's just the first part. Is the parking issue. And with how many units they're going to build, and then with the building itself, a 6-story, 98, now it's down to 83, a 6-story building right there, is that because it's connected to Main Street? This is a gigantic project, and already, as we all know, parking is the issue. But there are a lot of other issues. You've got these additional venues for coffee shop and all these, that's business. This is an R1 district. This is not business. Now you're opening up that door for R1 business district to keep on going block by block by block. I don't know if anybody else on council experiences that, but this is what we experience. And this is March. We deal with this in the wintertime. You can imagine in the summertime, we see people parking and walking to the beach on Main and 700 block. It's without saying that this is going to be a big problem. And once it's done, it's done. You're not going to take a 6-story building down. I'm finished. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for your time. My name is Mike Neal. I'm from 700 Asbury Ave. I'm up here for the same reason as this church. This is a lot of nonsense, in my opinion. The biggest problem is the fact that you're giving these developers the tax credit to take away from the children of Asbury Park. It's absolutely insane to have a 30-year tax break for these developers who are coming in to just build and make money off of our backs. What are the children going to do when they need to go to school? My kids thankfully are out of school now, and I'm not as worried, but it's just not fair to anyone. Bigger problem is taxes. Why are they getting a break when none of us are? I bought a house, I fixed it up. Built in 1906, I'm trying to bring Asbury back to what Asbury was. My taxes doubled. I don't know why anybody else who's trying to build a condo to make a fortune should get some sort of credit for whoever is going to move into that building. It's absolutely insane. If that's the case, my 2-family house is actually a 2-family condo, and who up there is going to give me a tax rebate starting today? Because it's insane that people could just come into this town, you're giving them the leverage to, oh, we want to build a business to help better up the community. How are you bettering the community? By causing traffic, causing areas where nobody can park, having people pay more taxes. having the people who are moving into these condos get a break for no particular reason except they're coming in to buy something, it's just unacceptable. I mean, I just don't get how the town feels, and you've done it up by the beach, you did it, all of these other big condos that are coming in, you're giving all of these developers tax credits. That is stealing from everybody else who lives in this community. There's no way that you can build in another 80 units on a block that can handle, I don't know, 4 homes. It's insane. I mean, what else is going on? Here's my other problem with the town. My taxes just went up. I made 3 calls today to the police because I'm tired of the junkies that are on the corner of Asbury and Bond, or on the corner of Sewell and Bond, doing their drugs. We know the house they're buying from on Sewell. It's 2 houses in. Everybody knows it. The police know it, but they don't go in and break it up. So then these junkies go and sit there. I make a phone call. They move 2 blocks down. Now they're in front of your house over on 2nd Ave, sitting in front of the church that you're supposedly going to fix up. But where is the money coming from? Why do we, the taxpayers of Asbury Park, who are trying to better this community, have to pay the bill for somebody else to get rich on our money? The other credit is also because you're saying affordable housing. Make these condos, give them 20 to 30% of affordable housing. You're already over your credit limit for that. You have enough affordable housing in all of Asbury Park. So this is kind of a crock to say, oh, we need this for the poor people. You don't care about the poor people. You want money in your pockets. Thank you very much.
Dina Cohen of Kiwanis Club of Asbury Park. I'm not here to complain or ask anything. We were supposed to get a proclamation tonight, and I was just inquiring if we're still getting that, because I didn't want to approach the bench or anything, because I have most of my members here from the club. Sorry if this was inappropriate or not allowed. We were told we were going to be first on the agenda, and some people have to leave. Sorry.
That's my apologies.
Ready?
Oh.
Yeah.
When do you need it? April 4th.
You'll have it tomorrow,
Okay.
and we'll read it. Okay, if we get the signatures, we'll have it, and the next week, we'll read it into the minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry.
I know. Thank you. I defer my other 2 minutes to somebody else.
Thank you all.
Now we're going to go. I want that.
Thank you for your.
Thanks.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Rachel Davis, and I'm a resident of Manalapan Township, 2 Apollo Road if you need it. I'm also the Public Policy and Justice Organizer for Water Spirits. And yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, esteemed members of the City Council. As a Mount County resident as well, I propose an ordinance aimed at reducing waste and promoting sustainability within our community. We've all seen these things. You may have you may get them, we may not want them at all. And that's what this first ordinance I'm proposing would do. That's skip this stuff. The skip the stuff ordinance would encourage businesses to offer alternatives such as reusable bags or compostable materials and incentivize consumers to bring their own reusable items. There is a state bill working on this, but in the face of that passing and sort of as that goes through, we've always been able to look to Asbury as a leader and as a trailblazer. So we are asking you to pass an ordinance to actually put this in practice in your community. As we continue to face the global climate crisis, disproportionately, it's imperative that we take local actionable steps to promote environmental protection and care for our common home. By passing that ordinance, Asbury Park will not only be taking a significant step towards sustainability, but also leading the way for other cities to do the same. And second, I'm also proposing a resolution in support of a New Jersey Green Amendment which is SCR 43, ACR 119. The New Jersey Green Amendment seeks to recognize and enshrine the right of all residents to a healthy environment within our state constitution. Specifically, it guarantees the right to clean air, clean water, a stable climate, and healthy environment for all and future generations. And by passing this resolution, the city of Asbury Park would join the growing movement to secure environmental justice, ensuring every person, regardless of their socioeconomic status or geographic location, has the right to live in an environment that does not harm their health or well-being. This resolution would not only reflect the values of this community, but also would send a powerful message to the state legislature, which we need. This campaign is growing and it's multifaceted, it's intergenerational, extremely diverse. It would highlight Asbury Park's leadership and advocate for policies that prioritize public health and the preservation of our natural resources, which are the foundation for both any sort of viable economy, as well as the quality of life. So the Green Amendment really is a vital step toward ensuring that future generations inherit a healthy environment. Right now, they cannot see, they don't envision a foreseeable, livable future for themselves, and it's really up to leaders like you to demonstrate that you care, because they're increasingly not having children as a result of this, and they're scared. There is growing support of this at the state level as well. All sides of, across the political spectrum. And so this is just an opportunity to share the information with you tonight. Unfortunately, a couple other people who were supposed to be here could not. But I'm happy to be a resource, and I also have a business card if you want to sit down as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Let us look into it, we'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
But thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, Brian Thompson, some of you know me from when I retired a couple of years ago, and I made sure that I did my final broadcast from Boardwalk here in Asbury Park, which is one of my favorite cities. I'm wearing an appropriate jacket. I hope you appreciate that, because I certainly do. I love this community. I serve on the board of the Asbury Park Theater Company. I'm also a environmental commissioner where I live in Monmouth Beach, and I serve on the board of the advisory board for Beyond Plastics, a national organization that its goal is to reduce the plastics that are quickly infiltrating our bodies. I just want to endorse everything that Rachel just said to you, especially about skip the stuff. I've been in correspondence with a couple of you about that. We would love to see you go ahead and adopt that as soon as possible. We are working on the state level as well. However, right now we have close to 20 communities, including mine at Monmouth Beach, who have adopted skip the stuff. Just last night I was in Hallward, which became the first community in Bergen County to pass a construction dust ordinance that contains the microplastics that you get from sawing vinyl siding, PVC piping, and Trex or Aztec type boards out in the front yard, and all those microplastics go dispersed into the air that we breathe, the water we drink, fish in, as well as your gardens. Everybody should know that if you have a garden, there are microplastics in it, and those microplastics are getting into your plants. So there's a lot of action that you guys can take, and women, excuse me, but that all of you can take. There's a lot happening on the state level as well. EPR, which is product packaging reduction, especially with plastics, that could use endorsements from communities like yours to show the leadership that Asbury Park is known for. And at the same time, I was at the Assembly Environment Committee, which just 2 days ago passed by a 5-2 vote a Superfund, climate Superfund proposal. Again, asking your legislators, and you have some very progressive legislators here in Asbury Park, to move quickly to endorse all of this with the backing of the Asbury Park City Council. So my time is up. I thank you very much for listening, and I wish you all the best, and I love this community. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you've done in the past, and thank you for that finding a great hobby in retirement. I'm sure of a hobby, but you say.
You think my wife wanted me around the house all that time?
I'm sure we'll be joining this.
Hello, everybody. Matthew Whalen, Asbury Park Chamber of Commerce, and 11 Main Street. Just two quick events that the chamber has coming up that I want to make the council and the public aware of. The first one is tomorrow. We have a special event that's a networking event, but it's also a screening of the trailer for a new documentary series specifically about Asbury Park. It's called From the Heart of Asbury Park. It's hosted by Billy Terrell, who many of you know. He's a musician, a songwriter, a record producer who got his start here in Asbury Park back in the 50s. He's very passionate about this and working on getting it picked up by PBS. So there's going to be a special screening at the Habitat for Humanity Restore over on Memorial tomorrow at 6 p.m. It's free, open to the public. We'll have light refreshments if anyone would like to come. The other one is at the end of the month on March 27th. We have our Business Expo. The Asbury Park Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with the Jersey Shore Chamber of Commerce, is doing a Business Expo at the Berkeley Hotel. And that is from 5 to 7:30 on March 27th. And it, again, free and open to the public. So come by, see what our businesses are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and if anybody doesn't know Billy Terrell, and most people don't, you should Google what an unbelievable history. He wrote a book. I'm a big fan of his. When I read the book, I said, you should make this into a miniseries. So he went that route, and now he's doing the history events in Asbury Park in the past. And he grew up with Howard Johnson's, made it in the music business, was on his way skyrocketing. Got drafted, went to Vietnam, opened up an orphanage over there, they still goes back to. But very big in the music business, and stand-up comedian, just fantastic person. And please Google him, please get some support him. Fantastic person, fantastic history. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shayla Lopez. I am extremely new to this. I've never been at a council meeting. Probably the youngest one in here. However, I did grow up in Asbury, and I do come from organized. I'm so organized, but this is just, I felt that I just had to come here and speak. I'm a resident. I lived in Asbury my whole life. I started at First Avenue with my parents, moved out when I was 18. I went to Asbury schools. So I am an alumni of Asbury from elementary to middle school to high school. I have children of my own, 3 girls who attend Asbury schools. I have nephews and nieces who attend Asbury schools. And I am also a tenant and a resident of Asbury. I live at 518 Asbury, I believe, by the beach. So I can relate and resonate with this, like, wholeheartedly. I do think it is just bizarre to even think about opening those condos up, and our schools aren't getting the proper funding that the children need. There's not a lot of programs for these children. A mom like myself already struggle paying this high rents that we pay. And on top of that, having to try to find somewhere safe for my child to go after school for aftercare, so I can keep my 9 to 5 to barely keep my plates and pay. You know, it's already expensive, it's hard. These children have nothing to do. I do try to take advantage of putting my children in free recreational things, but all in all, there is not enough being offered. The library is, you know, nonprofit organizations like Right Homes Now. I'm like getting nervous here, but I do try everything. I deal with the parking issue as well. I live in a spot where we not even one-time parking, so it's either in conditions like snowstorms or weather, or on the road. It's scary at nighttime. I have 3 children. I'm parking 3 blocks down, having to walk with 3 children. Grocery bags sometimes snow. There's no parking for me because everybody from wherever, outsiders are coming and pushing us out. I have a parking for a home that I pay high rent to live in. It's not fair, it's not safe. Asbury is known for what I believe it to be growing up, and even now it's a blended place for a bunch of different people to come together and work together, a community, and it doesn't feel that way anymore, and it really saddens me. Like, I get chills in my body because it's just what I'm seeing over the years, and again, I'm only 29, but the difference in how fast it's happening, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want people to actually like stand on morals and principles and humanity, you know, and not just be money driven, which is business. Again, I'm very passionate about this. I'm willing to do whatever I can possibly do to help this, prevent this from happening. I don't know if it's another meeting, I just actually found out about this at 4 o'clock today, and we were present here. Library day is for me, for my daughter's day, so I'm there, had me dinner, come here, so I'm a little late. But I am confident that if we schedule another meeting, I have a lot of support who are willing to show face also.
We're gonna have to ask you to wrap up.
Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I could just think off the top of my head, I'm not organized, I didn't write anything. But thank you for hearing me out, and hopefully, we can keep Asbury, what Asbury is, and protect the children, and stop, them from getting into things that's no good for them.
Are we still allowed to go? Okay, so, hi, my name is Seaton, I live on 704 Second Avenue, I'm also here to talk about, I'd be remiss not bringing up that I think what's going on with the church. I'm super in disagreement with it, honestly, I think it's kind of gross, what's being planned for it. It's hard enough already to park, to live in town, and it kind of feels like, is Asbury not gonna be happy until they've stripped away every last bit of what makes Asbury Park Asbury Park? It's gotten, the people who live here aren't cannon fodder for gentrifying for the sake of, the sort of wealthy elite who want to come in and destroy it, and it just kind of feels, it's icky. It's already got such a bad reputation from, a long time ago that I feel like everybody is trying so hard and working to stay in the community. I've been here for 10 years. I was in Ocean Grove for a while before that. Been in Asbury, living here for 3 years now at this apartment. It's just kind of sick to see that the people who actually want to stay here, who have been here, are being sort of disregarded in the fact that there's nothing that, it kind of feels like there's nothing that we can do other than be here and show up and pray that it doesn't happen. I want something to happen. Building almost burnt to the ground 2 weeks ago because nothing is happening. It's not that I think it should stay in limbo forever, but I think that whatever is done shouldn't come exactly at the expense of the people who already live here who care. I don't want to leave. What's going to happen is if that happens, there's no parking, it turns into a nightmare. If every night of the year is like a show at the Stone Pony Summer Stage, people are going to move. They're going to leave. And you're going to be sitting with empty buildings where no one can park and no one wants to be here. I don't think that anybody wants to feel like they have no choice but to move when it comes down to something just for the sake of selling a couple of, apartment buildings or office space. That's all.
Hi, I'm Laura Chapman, I live at 1408 Park Avenue, and, I'm here with the rest of you folks fighting this horrible thing that you want to do to the town. I know my taxes have gone up considerably, and I live on a postage stamp piece of land, I don't have a driveway. My poor next door neighbor, he's in his 70s, and he has to bus at one of the local restaurants to make money to pay the taxes, because they just keep going up and up and up. And now you're giving these developers tax breaks, you're giving the people that can afford the $1 million, $2 million condos tax breaks. They can freaking afford the $2 million condo, they can afford to pay full taxes like the rest of us. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, and I'm not going on that subject, but I don't know, hopefully you heard what Councilwoman Anderson said before, that we're going to be doing a series of programs here where like your neighbor who's 70 is working busing. There's a senior freeze that a lot of people don't know about. So he might be eligible for that, so you can please let, I'm not trying to change the subject, but there's a lot of people out there parks that don't realize that the senior freeze is available. And the price went up where it used to be, say, $95,000, now you can make up to $150,000 a year. So it's a great program for people to get into.
I think that should just, I think a lot of you are here, understandably so, from development by and the Holy Spirit Church. And I'm wondering if it would help if Beth would just describe what we're voting on. And then I can give you my thoughts on it, if you're going to be in disagreement. But if you could just give, because there feels like a lot of misinformation.
We're going to stop the public session.
I wouldn't mind hearing it, and then we can continue the public session, maybe we'll clear up a few things that anybody has to say.
But the council says it's never been done before.
No, after everyone speaks, Beth can describe what we're voting on, and I can give my thoughts, we can do it how we always do it, no problem.
Beth described it at the beginning.
I think I suggested that.
Well, I don't remember it's being voted down.
Move to close.
Good evening, Thomas, 3600 Route 66 in Neptune. Years ago, decades ago, when Asbury Park was unfortunately in its worst times, I can understand we had to do pilots and give developers breaks to attract them here because they weren't coming. And that's how we ended up with the deal with the beach fund. And I understand if you still have to give pilots the beach fund because those contracts that you may be obligated to honor were here before any of you got on the council. Maybe some ways out of it, but for right now, it may be that you have to honor it. It's the fact that you're giving pilots to new developers, really to attract developers now, beat them back to six. They don't need incentive to come here, they stand in the line to come. And the idea that we've got a school system facing a $13 million budget shortfall, and yet we're still gonna give pilots which says you don't have to pay the school tax for a number of years. It's crazy that's still being considered today where you're not contractually bound to do that. And it just shouldn't even be considered. Now, I got nothing against the developer who came in and bought the church. I mean, that's what developers are gonna do, right? The tiger's in the tiger, you can't blame him for being a tiger. The one fault lies with the lousy bishop who sold it and the awful parish priest who sold it. Those are the enemies here. The developer's not the enemy, it's those guys. They won't give me an audience to tell them to their face. They won't speak. But it's very odd to see a council even consider. And I know that that's not being voted on tonight. I know tonight we're just voting on sending it to the planning board. But this is where the shout should start before you even do that. And every time it comes up, they should come back and shout at you again. Because it just can't understand that you would even consider doing that. We've got this big shortfall in the schools that you're gonna say we're gonna give another developer a tax break. And there should be consequences to politicians who do that, especially politicians who ran saying, I'm against all these pilots, and they're not gonna vote to do one. So probably the best consequence is, if anybody who votes on that and gives a pilot when you're facing a $13 million shortfall of the schools, they should have their face on a billboard all over town, and just on the outskirts of town. It's already counted and looked into what the price of costs. Your face should go on a billboard with a sign that says, I took the kids' school money and gave it to a developer. And then a phone number that they can call and hear me tell them the rest of the story. I can't fit on the billboard. That should be fake. And coupled with that, why do we not have an historic preservation ordinance? I'm not talking to this Anderson, I apologize, you haven't been there long enough. But the rest of you have been here for a very long time, you still don't have an ordinance, but Ms. Anderson, the clock is ticking you on that, it's ticking. So you need to get one of those before Mount Carmel, which I gave less than 10 years, turns into condos. Thank you.
I don't really have nothing else to say, but I've heard that about how I get tickets for parking. I don't know if that's something that. I get tickets for parking sometimes when I have nowhere else to park. I don't know if there's a thing where those can be waived somehow, but they're possible.
That's a police department issue.
Oh, that's.
We can't fix tickets.
Okay.
That's how we go to jail.
They told me I only said that when I called them and I asked like a sign person to avoid that, they told me to talk to the mayor.
You fix my tickets too?
Hello, I'm Chris Aiken. I live at 913 Fifth Avenue, across the street from 908, which I hope will also see a whole lot of housing go up soon. I would welcome some new neighbors and some affordable housing. I think we need more units of housing. I agree the school needs more support. There are the vagaries of the public school finance system, which I would encourage everyone to go to the school board meeting tomorrow night to hear about. And there are hands that are tied on what can be done with pilots versus property taxes, which I think the deputy mayor will let us know about. But the more housing in this town, the better, because the prices are going to go through the roof year after year after year. If there's more supply, that's going to help address the problem. If not, everyone's going to wind up selling for a high price to the very same people that we're talking about who are filling up the streets with parking.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Wait.
I'm gonna vote.
Hi, everybody. Joseph Hanna. I'm the developer from the Holy Spirit Church. You guys put your blame on me. I wanted to discuss a few different things. And the first thing, and the most important thing, is I'd like to thank the council for making this a public decision. I think this is very important for the community to get involved. The people that live in Asbury Park should join together and collectively make a decision on what the best path forward is for this development. We have two options. It's 6 single-family houses or this redevelopment, okay? And if we go with this, and if it ends up going to 6 single-family houses, there'll be 6 beautiful single-family houses. But I want to let everybody know what that actually means. And let's talk about the pilot, okay? I understand everyone's concerned about the pilot, as you should be. Taxes are going up. And everyone says, well, why is the developer getting a tax break? Well, in this situation, the developer's getting a tax break because there's a lot of give back to the community. That costs money. And the most important thing is 18 affordable houses or income restricted houses on the east side of Asbury Park, new homes, which really doesn't exist, okay? And the pilot or the taxes on it, it pays around $400,000 a year, okay? That is equivalent to, or maybe more than the 6 single family houses. So when you look at them, you know, apples to apples and compare them, well, what do you guys want? You're not gonna get any more tax money with the 6 single family houses. But with the redevelopment, you get 18 affordable housing or income restricted dwellings, as well as a repurpose of a historic structure. And that's the two options. The 6 single family houses are the opposite of affordable housing. They bring -6 affordable housing use to the east side. You're talking about $2 to $3 million homes, right? So how does that help the east side of Asbury Park? How does that help the Asbury Park community? I hope everybody over here makes the right decision tonight and understands that and thinks about that and really understands what giving a pilot actually means to a developer, okay? That pilot allows those 18 income restricted dwellings to be built. That pilot also allows that building to be restructured. So I think that's something that everybody should know. The parking, it's a problem. But,
Big problem.
well, but you should also.
No, we don't cross conversations, please.
The parking is a problem in the city of Asbury Park, period. Okay, the parking for this development still gives around the same number as the Main Street redevelopment plan. So that is a Main Street, that redevelopment plan has been set forth for God knows how long. That we are giving 0.9 or 0.85 spaces per unit, which that is the Main Street redevelopment plan parking setting. That's what they, you know, that's what they want for parking. So it's not much less than that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Now, anybody else? Motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're on to the minutes.
No.
Sorry. Okay, apologies.
But I am gonna ask Beth to come up here, because I want her to correct anything that I say is wrong. It's gonna somewhat be similar to what Joanna said. Well, let me clarify by saying the first thing that we are voting on tonight is to send this to the planning board to determine if that area is in need of redevelopment. That is what we're voting on. We're not voting on a pilot. We're not saying yes to this development, although arguably by sending it to the planning board, we're giving an unofficial. But we are voting on sending this to the planning board to say, is this an area in need of redevelopment? So I just want everybody to be crystal clear on that. But I'm gonna go into some of the other points because they've been brought up. And look, I'm not gonna do parking because I'll acquiesce. Is the parking on this project great? No. So I will acquiesce the parking issue. But I wanna talk about a couple of issues. And Beth, I'm just gonna ask you to be at the mic because if somebody says I said something wrong, you're gonna correct me. If you don't mind, just go there. Okay, the two options on the table, I'm also gonna preface, I also have a child in the Asbury Park School District. He goes to Bradley Elementary and he's in 4th grade. I've missed Tommy DeSano at any of the Board of Education meetings in the last 6 years that I've been at them. So everybody who cares so much about the kids of Asbury Park and the Asbury Park Board of Education budget, I'm sure I'm gonna see you on Thursday. Okay, great, great. Here are the two options on the table. As Joe said, 6 cutting down the church, and you are gonna have 6 mansions, each mansion worth approximately $3 million. No affordable, nothing, no church, no affordable, no nothing, 6 mansions on this block. It will likely not affect your parking because they will have driveways. The city will get, with no pilot on these 6 mansions, and this has been run by our tax assessor, so if you have a problem, you should contact Eric, don't contact me. The total conventional taxes. He just runs our, Eric who runs our numbers, Mike is our tax assessor, but you should talk to Eric because he's the one who gave me these numbers. The total taxes for these houses would be $278,000 a yearly. The city would get $95,000 a year, and the school would get $140,000. Right? That's the makeup. Am I saying anything wrong then? Okay. If we do the development, approximately 90 units, we save the church. 18 or 19 of these units are either affordable or income restricted, meaning those would be homes for people. What we've seen is affordable units generally have kids that they send to the Asbury Park School District. So this would be building 18 or 19 units for families in Asbury Park who send their kids to the Asbury Park School District. In theory. So with a pilot, the city would get $313,000, way more than the 95, and the county gets 15. The county, for the record, gets the short end of the stick, no matter pretty much which way you slice it, but certainly with a pilot, the county gets the short end of the stick. So just so you know, the city is getting, with the 90 units, I'm not arguing with you all on parking, I just don't think we should design based on parking, but I'm not arguing with you on it. The city would get $313,000 a year towards taxes, and the county would get 15. We would preserve the church, and we would have 18 affordable units, which would provide housing for families that are in Asbury Park who send their kids to the Asbury Park School District. 6 McMansions provide $95,000 a year in taxes, provide $140,000 a year in taxes for the schools. So I just want to we are not voting on that tonight. We are not voting on that tonight, but I certainly know that people have talked about it, people feel passionate about it, I feel passionate about it, you feel passionate about it, we may disagree on it, but those are the factual numbers unless Beth corrects anything I say that is incorrect. Okay. That's it? Done.
I have no correction to offer, and the description of what is on the agenda tonight, which is just to authorize the planning board to conduct a study to make a recommendation as to whether or not the property is an area of redevelopment. That is the only action on tonight's agenda, which technically does not advance a specific project in any way, but I think the deputy mayor is correct in that it serves as a sort of a message about support for the project.
And I have to do one other alternative, and this is it, I promise. I know it's going to kill me. One alternative, just because everybody cares suddenly about the kids of Asbury Park in the school district, I'll see you all tomorrow night. The other alternative is taking the pilot money and giving the school district the amount of money they would have gotten with conventional taxes. And even if we do that, the city still gets more money through the pilot. I'm going to give you those numbers. The city would get $173,000. Let's say we donated $140,000 for the school because people care about the Asbury Park School District, and the county would get about 15. So there are 3 different ways to do this to ensure that the city of Asbury Park gets more money than it did in conventional taxes, and then can earmark money for the school district. Did I say anything wrong?
The city has that, you guys have the power to earmark money.
Okay, I'm done, I promise.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree with Mr. DeSano, I'm going to disagree with Amy, and I'm going to disagree with Beth. Because everybody's saying if we pass this tonight, it doesn't mean squat. That's BS. If we pass this tonight, it's game over. And we talked about this in closed exec, and people agreed to that. Beth agreed to that because it sent a message to the developer, who should get a message, either yes or no. It shouldn't be kept on kicked down the road. And it's also sending a message to the planning board. All they can do is like change things and then send it back to us. And the 3 that vote yes for it, the 4 that vote yes for it, can rip it up and throw it away, and it's game over. So sending this to the planning board tonight is not just a formality. This is the vote that matters if this goes forward or it does not. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I can,
Go ahead.
I think I think it's a matter of messaging. Because the way that this process has been set up is that this is not, the council wants to take a public vote in order to express your support or lack thereof for the project. Having the site move towards the redevelopment project is the natural, or redevelopment designation is the natural next step if the project is going to proceed. So my point earlier is that while this authorizing a property for study for redevelopment doesn't technically authorize any particular project. But given the context that we're in, the history of this project, and the nature of tonight's discussion, which is a vote in support or not for the project through the redevelopment designation authorization or not, I do think it's a very strong message. And it really serves as it's like a proxy for an up or down vote on the project as it currently exists and whether it will proceed with the redevelopment process.
I could say a couple of funny things, but people wouldn't go to, it's like being.
no, I think we've said that this is not official.
It would be like having slight COVID. I mean, there's no such thing. You either have COVID or you don't have COVID. I mean, so it's not, if this goes forward, it's game over.
It isn't game over in the sense that if it was free, would the developer have maybe some legal or would we have legal ramifications if we voted to send this to the planning board, which for the record, we've already had legal ramifications because the planning board voted down his by right 6 mansions, but we'll putting a pin in that one for a minute. So let's just say we vote that this goes to the planning board, let's just say it does, and it comes back to the council, and somebody on the council is like, you know what, it's too dense, or you know what, the parking's too atrocious, it can still go down. So when we say we are sending it to the planning board, I certainly am comfortable saying that that is a movement, a strong movement to we support the project, but it is not a yes 100% on the project. That is not a fair thing to say.
You also bamboozled us. You told us different stories on the taxes.
The public is done speaking. Public is done speaking.
She's very condescending to us.
Okay, well, that's.
Find in the chambers, please, no speaking out.
Meeting for right. And this is a little bit of a bizarre council meeting. You know, for anybody to say, well, we send it to the planning board and they can't come back and we'll change our mind. We've been talking about this since 2020. So I mean, if you don't know where you stand on this now, you say, well, maybe the planning board will say there's not enough parking, I'll change my mind, I just don't buy that. I totally agree with what Mr. Hammond said, that it's very nice that the council is doing this in public. I wish in 2021 it was done in public, so some city employee didn't go back and tell you the mayor killed the project, which is impossible to do, because one vote, one vote, one vote, one vote, one vote, one vote. I got one vote. How the mayor could kill the project, and I got sued over that. Then you were told something wasn't the truth, and no problem, and yes, did I go the wrong way with the planning board? Yes, and did we fix that immediately, as soon as it was brought to our attention? Yes. So I mean, again, I'm happy this is being done in public. Again, it's been going on since 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, now we're in 2025. And if any council person up here now does not have a strong inclination and thinks like, well, maybe like Joe Blow on the planning board may say something that might change my mind, I just find that very not going to happen. Okay, any other council people?
We are now on to the minutes of the executive meeting and regular meeting minutes for February 12th, 2025 meetings. Do I have a motion? Councilmember Beth Anderson. Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now on to the consent agenda of resolutions. All matters listed on the consent agenda are presented collectively to the City Council will be considered for approval with one vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature, and there will be no individual discussion of these items. This discussion is desired by one or more council members as to any particular items, and said items shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. On the consent agenda, we have resolutions 2025-124 and 2025-126. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore? Yes. We're now on individual resolutions. Resolution 2025-130, resolution authorizing the payment of bills.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-131, resolution establishing a new sewer rate schedule connection fees for the city of Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
No.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-133, resolution authorizing the purchase of two-way radios for the Department of Public Works.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-134, resolution authorizing purchase of ammunition for the police department.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-135, resolution authorizing a contract with Rescue Products International Inc. for fire department training.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-136, resolution authorizing the execution of a deed easement with the County of Monmouth and the Asbury Park Housing Authority for the maintenance of traffic signal at the new firehouse at 200 Memorial Drive.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-137, resolution awarding a contract for 2025 Sunset Lake Pond Management.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-138, resolution amending the contract with F&P Associates for LSRP services at the DPW garage.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Second. Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-139, resolution authorizing professional service contract with the Acari Vino for professional architectural services of the Boardwalk restroom rebid.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-140, resolution authorizing professional service contract with Kyle McManus Associates for the fourth round housing element and fair share plan, affordable housing planning services.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-141, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with Public Resources Advisory Group for the provision of RAP administrative services for K-Hop Nanians Delta at Asbury Park, Lots 4306.
Move it. Question.
Second. I'm sorry.
Just explain that to me.
If you're only going to be able to give an overview.
Sure.
My name is Chief Fiona, I'm from Gilbert Basin, we are redevelopment council to the city. These three items, 141 through 143, and the following three items, 144, 146, relate to professional services, administrative services associated with the upcoming redevelopment area of bond financings affecting the waterfront area for the reimbursement of infrastructure costs. First three for public, PRAGs, and for Public Resources Advisory Group, they are the party that will be charged with administering the collection and forwarding on to the bond trustee of all the special assessments that are collected over the course of time. So they're basically one administrative people that will be paying the special assessments. It's a separate contract for each one of them, and they pay a fee over each year in which they're doing the services. The next three items, 144 through 146, from BJH Advisors, they are tasked with making the financial projections that are that substantiate the likely stream of the special assessment payments that will be secured in the foundations.
And if we don't have them in place, let's say that all of us say that.
Well, then, the services, well, for the first one, you would have administrative difficulties, matching the payments to the bond issue. For the second set, the marketing of the bonds might be impaired because there is no analysis of that sort. And you may, of course, choose different provider to provide that service. There have been, both services have been used in all of the prior transactions of this sort.
These services are needed, and we hire professionals, and we don't pay them the master development fee, so this costs us nothing. But our professionals have the eye for
I just want clarity, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-142, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with Public Resource Advisory Group for the provision of grant administration services for Somerset Block 4105. Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Mayor Moore? Resolution 2025-143, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with Public Resources Advisory Group for the provision of grant administrative services for 1101 Ocean Avenue. Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-144, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with BJH Advisors for the provision of grant administration for K-Pop Canadians, Delta Block 4306. Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-145, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with BJH Advisors for the provision of grant administration for Somerset Block 4105. Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-146, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional services agreement with BJH Advisors for the provision of grant administration for 1101 Ocean Avenue. Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-147, supplemental resolution authorizing the issuance of one or more series of additional non-recourse redevelopment area bonds, waterfront redevelopment area infrastructure project of the city of Asbury Park in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $7 million in connection with the project being undertaken in the city by K-Hop Canadians Delta at Asbury Park Urban Renewal LLC, and as a portion of the non-recourse redevelopment area bonds of the city previously approved pursuant to a resolution duly adopted by the City Council on February 20th, 2013.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson? Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-148, resolution authorizing the issuance of one or more series of non-recourse redevelopment area bonds for 4105 infrastructure project of the city of Asbury Park in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $28 million in connection with the redevelopment project being undertaken in the city by Somerset Asbury Park Urban Renewal LLC.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
No.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-149, resolution approving change order 13 for Memorial Drive Improvement Project.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-150, resolution awarding bid for printing services.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-151, resolution establishing fees and regulations for the 2025 beach season.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-152, resolution of the mayor and city and council of the city of Asbury Park, County of Monmouth, New Jersey, authorizing the planning board for the city of Asbury Park to investigate whether an area within the city should be designated as an area in need of redevelopment regarding Block 2701, Lot 3, 701, 705, Second Avenue. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
No.
Councilmember Chapman?
Wait a minute, please. And the reason I'm saying no is because I do believe that the area is what is being built or proposed is too dense. There isn't enough parking. And we have to be concerned about the residents who live in that area. So unfortunately, it's hard.
Councilmember Chapman?
I'm going to vote yes, and I'm going to vote yes because even though the mayor says we should know what we're doing at this point, that we should have a good idea of how we're gonna vote, I struggled with this for 5 years. I struggled with this as I drove here today. But when I look at, and listening to all of you with your concerns about parking and pilots, I also think about losing this historic building, adding extra affordable housing, and I am voting yes to move this to the planning board.
Councilmember Clayton.
I've been agonizing with this up until this now. And I've been on the fence because I want to preserve the church. I want the affordable units. But I don't want what it's going to bring to the neighborhood. So though it pains me, I vote no.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
No.
We are now on to ordinances for introduction. Ordinance 2025-8, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending and supplementing Chapter 5 entitled Beach Boardwalk and Beachfront Regulations to establish fines for tents on the beach with a public hearing date of March 26, 2025.
Move it.
Okay. You got a second?
Second.
Okay. Because of the presentation made by the gentleman at the beginning of the meeting, should we look at this better and postpone this maybe 2 weeks? Even though it's only an introduction, but I mean, we're gonna have enough knowledge about umbrellas, anything more highs.
This is only 10.
It's only tents?
It's only 10.
Okay, it's only tents, it's not umbrellas, no problem. Good.
Moving forward. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Now moving on to second reading and public hearing. First up, we have ordinance 2025-6, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with Somerset Asbury Park Urban Renewal LLC concerning property located at block 4105, block 1.01, 155th Avenue on the city tax map within the Asbury Park waterfront redevelopment area and granting a tax exemption.
Jim, would you like to welcome you?
Certainly.
Excuse me, a brief explanation. Certainly.
Once again, for the record, Jim Fearon, I'm going to pass in the city's development house.
Everybody in the back there?
No. Jim Fearon, Bill Paxton, the city's redevelopment council. Apologies for talking so low. So this item and the item that follows both relate to a project that is a proposed $274 million redevelopment project known as, or to be known as Inspire by Somerset, which will be developed by an affiliate of Somerset Development LLC at 155th Avenue, block 4105, within the city's waterfront development area. The project will include 112 residential condominium units, approximately 9,000 square feet of commercial space, 236 parking spaces in an indoor parking structure, and limited dining space in common areas. So the site of the project is currently used as a service parking lot. The proposed agreements, the financial agreement and the special assessment agreement, intend have a net effect of causing property owners, including the subsequent purchasers of those condominiums, to pay a total amount that approximates the total amount that would have been paid in property taxes, full property taxes in the absence of tax lien. The city receives as pilot payments of the financial agreement an amount that approximates the amount the city would have received as the city's share of full property taxes. And the remaining amounts, which are payable as special assessments by the property owners, are used to pay debt service on the bonds, which we just voted on, that finance costs of infrastructure improvements throughout the waterfront development area.
Thank you. Thank you. Do I have a motion opening for public comment on ordinance 2025-6? All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment on ordinance 2025-6 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Your comments may only be about ordinance 2025-6.
Seeing none, motion is closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-6?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
No.
Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-7, ordinance of the city of Asbury Park in the county of Monmouth, state of New Jersey, providing for the special assessment of the cost of certain wastewater, stormwater, roadway, streetscape, utility, and other infrastructure improvements constructed on or benefiting lot 4105, lot 1.01, 150 Fifth Avenue on the city tax map, which are located within the Asbury Park waterfront redevelopment area, and establish a mechanism for payment of the cost thereof.
Move it. Second.
This was a motion to open for public comment.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment on ordinance 2025-7 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Your comments may only be about ordinance 2025-7.
Move it.
Second.
Motion to close.
Motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-7?
Move to adopt.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
If that's all for tonight, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes.